Puyallup, Washington, Kobe Campbell. Campbell comes in averaging just under 10 points per game. Number 5, Kyle Karstetter, a 6'7" sophomore guard forward from Moses Lake, Washington. Number 10, Tayshawn Colvin, a 6-foot freshman guard from Spokane Valley, Washington, at 8.8 points a game. Number 11, Dante Sawyer at 13.6 points per game. The 6'5" sophomore guard is from San Francisco, California. And the last starter, number 24, Jalen Skalski, a 6'8" sophomore forward from Rathdrum, Idaho. Comes in averaging just under 10 points a game, but man, did he show out last week. 24 points and 7 rebounds off the bench against Western Wyoming here last Saturday. It's very clear that he loves playing in this gym, and we will look to see if that streak of good play continues for the sophomore forward as we are ready to go here from Sweet Erickson Gymnasium and the home of the beautiful Casper College. Tip goes to the Cardinals early, and this is going to be Tayshawn Colvin looking for a back pick there as Skalski misses the layup. Seen that tip play run more and more often there as they screen the center that jumps, and then they look for Skalski on the lob. He had the good look, had it on his left hand, and just missed the layup. As this is Philip Momich who misses the left-handed layup, and the Cardinals, as predicted in the pregame, are going to run as Kyle Karstetter misses that layup. Just 30 seconds in, but the tempo definitely leans in North Idaho's favor as this is Thompson Kamara who gets his first basket of the game, and we are now on the scoreboard about 40 seconds in. Thompson Kamara, a guy that comes in leading the team and scoring 14 points a game. 2 weeks ago against Trinidad went for 21 points and 10 rebounds, a guy that's very capable of scoring the basketball. Karstetter looks back out to Skalski. Skalski going to fire a three and misses it short. Skalski's a guy that showed that he can knock down that jump shot on occasion. Doesn't like to shoot it a ton, but he did hit a couple last weekend when they were here in Casper. Odonis Dunn fires a three ball that misses short, and it is Colvin on the defensive rebound. Skalski running the other way and missed the layup, but it looks like he's going to be fouled. Philip Momich going to pick up his first foul. And it's going to be Jalen Skalski heading to the free throw line. Skalski, the 6'8" sophomore forward from Rathdrum, Idaho, comes in shooting 68% from the free throw line. Coach Simmons elects to pull all of his guys back off of the line here. Skalski's first free throw is up and good, and the Cardinals are on the board. 2-1, still early here, just over a minute and a half into the game. As Skalski eyes it, flies it, and supplies it for the Cardinals. 2-2 here from Sweet Erickson Gymnasium as Franklin Phillips College will handle. Kasheem Miller initiating the offense here for the Plainsmen. This is Benny Kazadi at the top of the key. And now Momich has it, looking inside, looking for high-low action. This is Kamara. Kamara squares. Finds a cutting Dunn who misses short, and Skalski clears for the Cardinals, and the Cardinals want to try to get out and run. Dante Sawyer, a guy very capable of scoring the basketball at a high level, and he gets two right there. Dante Sawyer, the 6'5" sophomore guard from San Francisco, comes in averaging just under 14 points a game and had one of his best games of the season last week as he got 23 points against Northwest Wyoming College on Thursday. This Frank Phillips College team, as we talked about in the pregame, a team that wants to be patient. They want to really get a great shot. Good shot fake and a great take there by Benny Kazadi, and he's got two. They don't have any issue with waiting until the shot clock winds all the way down to under 5. They feel very confident getting shots in under 10 seconds left in the shot clock, and if they don't have anything great right away, they're going to be patient and they're going to wait for theirs. Colvin with the drive, who goes up for the right-hand shot on the left-hand side that misses, and Frank Phillips clears. It's Benny Kazadi with the defensive rebound. Momich looked like he had position there on the inside, but they choose not to. Three ball goes up by Dunn, and it's no good, and Karstetter with the defensive rebound for the Cardinals. And again, North Idaho wants to run, and then a bad pass there. It looked like Skalski almost got a flat tire there, couldn't leap up to go get that pass, and it's another turnover for the Cardinals. Both teams kind of looking out of sorts here early on as we're just over 3 minutes in here from Casper College. And there's another turnover as Momich thought he had Kamara in the block. but it bounced off Kamara's hands and out of bounds. And checking in for Frank Phillips College, number 24, Anthony Walters, and number 34, Amar Cottage. This Frank Phillips team only really plays 8 players in their rotation. And by really, I mean they only have 8 players suited up tonight. They only have 3 guys suited on the bench. So you can understand a little bit of their idea offensively and being patient and slowing the ball down, as these guys, if they start to get tired, there's not a ton on the bench for them. As Dante Sawyer continues his hot streak, and he's got 4 points now early for the Cardinals. 6-4 North Idaho with the early lead. And we're going to get an offensive foul called there. Foul's going to go against Anthony Walters, who had just checked in as he was out of control coming off of a screen. Checking in for Frank Phillips, number 5, Jabari Harris, a 6'2" freshman guard from Fort Worth, Texas, as well as number 0, Taron Johnson, a 6'7" sophomore from Grand Prairie, Texas. Taron Johnson, a guy that came in here last week, played on Friday night against Casper College, did not play on Saturday, and I am excited to get a chance to watch him play. He's kind of been dealing with some health issues, and he looks like he should be playing tight end in the NFL. 6'7", a sophomore, and he's a load in there as he catches there. A nice spin move, kicks it out. This is Carstetter in the corner for 3. Misses off the heel, and it's a defensive rebound for Cottage. Frank Phillips, they're kind of pushing it up the side. They do look like they want to go, but they are very content, if there is nothing there early, staying patient and moving the basketball around. A lot of passing, a lot of cutting offensively. They don't run as much ball screen action as some colleges do, especially at this level. But again, they get the shot clock down. We're at 5 seconds now. They have no problem with being patient and waiting, and they end up getting a 3-ball attempt here by Kasheem Miller that is good. Plainsman take the 7-6 lead, and again, late in the shot clock, that's something that we're going to keep an eye on, is the Plainsmen prefer it almost to wait down until the shot clock gets under 10, as this is Skalski, and just as I noted earlier, very capable of knocking down that outside shot. A guy that comes in only shooting 20%, but again, he made a couple last week. He has now made one this week, and it looks like North Idaho potentially maybe showing a little 2-3 zone here. North Idaho tries to run a little set out of it. I'm sorry, Frank Phillips tries to run a set against the 2-3 zone. As this 3-ball from Anthony Walters is now good against the zone. And just like that, the Plainsmen come back out to a 10-9 lead. Zone, not something that we saw from North Idaho last week. They played man-to-man most of the way. They did press a little bit last week. But the 2-3 zone, not something that we've seen. I wonder if that's part of the scouting report against this Frank Phillips team, as Kobe Campbell misses his first 3-point shot long. And North Idaho, again, drops back into this 2-3 zone. They find the middle of it. This is Cottage, a little free throw line jumper, and it's good. And North Idaho, now 2 possessions in the zone, have given up 5 points out of it. And the Plainsmen out to a 12-9 lead. Taron Johnson, a great athlete there, goes to his left hand. Shot's no good, but the foul called. Foul's going to go on Amar Cottage. It's going to be his first. And Taron Johnson's going to head to the free throw line when we come back from this media timeout. With 13:53 left in the first half, the Plainsmen from Frank Phillips College with a 12-9 lead over North Idaho on the Casper College Network.
Hey, Coach. So I've been with you for a couple of weeks. What's your philosophy on player development?
Yeah, great question. I mean, it really boils down to 2 things: imagination and creativity.
Good, fine, good, yes, go. Quick, one more time. It's coming, Georgie. Oh, no, Georgie. Give me that! Don't step on my 2! Don't step on my 2! Quick! Finish! Let's go! Come on, Frank! Let's go! Jump on your shot! Get your shot up! Go! One more! Let's go! Get it up! Go! Finish it! Nice job!
Welcome back, fans. Sweet Erickson Gymnasium on the campus of beautiful Casper College, as we have a non-conference game here between the Frank Phillips Plainsmen from Region 5 with a 12-9 lead over the North Idaho Cardinals from Region 18. The Plainsmen already have 5 different players in the scorebook. Kashim Miller with 3, Benny Kazadi with 2, Anthony Walters with 3, Thompson Kamara with 2, and Amar Cottage with 2. For the Cardinals so far, Dante Sawyer with 4 and Jalen Skalski with 5, and that is it as Taron Johnson heads to the free throw line for the Cardinals. He's going to shoot 2. Johnson comes in shooting 73% from the free throw line, a guy that averages 12.4 points per game, but again, working back from some injuries as the lefty's first free throw is up, and it's good. Again, a guy that showed how capable he was here last Friday night, as he was a big key in North Idaho's win over Casper College on Friday, and then he sat out Saturday. He did play Thursday night in their win over Northwest Wyoming, as the second free throw is good. And he is a guy that can really help them as a big body and a rebounder and a scorer on that low block. As here comes the 2-2-1 full court press. They try to trap out of it. Frank Phillips is able to break the press, and they'll set up in their half-court offense. As North Idaho continues to stay in this zone, and Frank Phillips' layup is up and no good. That was Jabari Harris, the 6'2" freshman guard from Fort Worth, that missed a layup. And North Idaho gets their first stop out of the 2-3 zone. Kobe Campbell with it here at the top of the key. Campbell, the Troy commit, is a very capable scorer. The little lefty shooter misses the floater. Defensive rebound goes to Kamara, and Frank Phillips again very content with slowing down offensively here and executing in the half court. The 2-3 zone has not really had the effect that I think Coach Simmons has wanted so far from North Idaho, as that's a 3 ball there for Jabari Harris that's good. And again, in the 4 possessions that North Idaho's been in the zone so far, it's been a 2-pointer, a 3-pointer, a missed shot, and then a 3-pointer, as the Plainsmen are out now to a 15-11 lead. And there's Taron Johnson again, as he's got a nice little layup there, a little hook shot to his right shoulder in his left hand, as the lefty gets his 4th point of the game on his first field goal to cut the lead down to 2. This North Idaho team is very long, and when they play that press, those 3 guys, especially on the backside, very long, capable of deflecting passes. They haven't gotten their hands on one yet, but I would not be surprised to see it happen as the game continues, as this Campbell looks to dump it off and the ball gets stolen by Cottage, and now Frank Phillips is going to run the other way. Jabari Harris with it here. Hit his last 3 ball. I'm sure he's looking to get another one here, as this one gets swung all the way to the corner. Shot fake and a rise up. And wow, Benny Kazadi was met at the rim by Taron Johnson, and Taron Johnson turned it away, and North Idaho will retain here, offensively trailing by 2. Campbell gets hooked on the drive there, and it's going to be out of bounds underneath. Foul's going to go on 24, Anthony Walters. It's going to be his 2nd for the Plainsmen. Today's officials, Ryan Gross and Ben Partlow out of Gillette, Wyoming, and Roosevelt Brown out of Casper, Wyoming. Checking in for the first time for the Cardinals, number 33, Tanner Tolastrup, the 6'5" freshman guard from San Diego, California, as well as number 2, Vaughn Weems, a guy that started both games last week, a very capable athlete of scoring it in the post. This is Skalski with the 3 ball, a little bit long. Skalski with the rebound, and he's going to drive it. And we're going to go the other way as Skalski gets called for an offensive foul. Coach Simmons calling for his team to get into this press here. Austin Johnson also checked in for the Cardinals, the 6'4" sophomore guard out of Oakland, California. Comes in averaging just over 7 points per game. There's the trap, and it gets deflected that time. Vaughn Weems knocks it out of bounds, and now North Idaho is playing. This is about as long of a group as you're going to see. Vaughn Weems, the 6'5" freshman with those long arms to the top, as well as Austin Johnson, the 6'4" guard. As we get a step-back 3-point shot by Thompson Kamara that goes. And just like that, the Plainsmen increase their lead to 5 with an 18-13 advantage. This is Taron Johnson looking to get to that right shoulder. Goes up with that left hand. It's no good, and a defensive rebound by Kamara there. And now Frank Phillips looks to run. There's the lob pass up for the hammer by Benny Kazadi. And Kazadi's got 4 points. And just like that, Frank Phillips out to a 7-point lead. You know, you look at records here. North Idaho comes in 5-2 on the season. Frank Phillips comes in 2-8 on the season. 1-8 on the season. And of course, just like that, the Plainsman out to a 20-13 lead here. We talked in the pregame about these two styles being so different, and North Idaho really wanting to push tempo, and Frank Phillips wanting to slow things down and execute in the half court. And it seems so far that Frank Phillips has gotten the better end of this differing styles matchup so far. Coach Simmons looks like he's going to switch back now and get into a little bit of man-to-man and see if maybe some of that length can help in the half court defensively. Mamich with the little lefty float shot that misses, but an offensive rebound by Jabari Harris, and Frank Phillips will retain. This is Jabari Harris with a step-back three, and it's good. Harris now with a pair of threes. He's got 6 points on the game, well on his way to his 7-point average. A guy that shoots it at 39% from the field, very capable, the 6'2" freshman guard from Fort Worth, Texas. And for the first time in the game today, we've got a double-digit advantage for the Plainsmen, and they get a steal now, and they're heading the other direction. Odonis Dunn wants to wait, and that's Jabari Harris with the dump-off. Mamich with the left-handed layup, and just like that, we've got a 12-point game, and Coach Simons needs a timeout. 9:37 to go here in the first half. It's going to be a full timeout. The Plainsmen from Frank Phillips with a 25-13 lead on North Idaho on the Casper College Network.
We have a really competitive group this year. Sometimes a little too competitive. And there's this guy on our team, Ethan. He takes it a little too far, but he never loses.
Ready, go!
I do this. I ain't never lost. I do this.
It don't even matter what that is. I got game right here. In this game.
Tell him he missed too.
In that game. I do this. I ain't never lost. I cheer louder than y'all. I never lost. I never lost. I ain't never lost. I do this.
Welcome back, fans. Sweet Erickson Gymnasium on the campus of beautiful Casper College as the Plainsmen from Frank Phillips College with a 25-13 lead over the Cardinals from North Idaho. The Plainsmen so far paced by Jabari Harris with 6 points, Thompson Kamara with 5 of his own, Benny Kazadi with 4, and then Mamich with 2, Kashim Miller with 3, Anthony Walters with 3, and Amar Cottage with 2, as it's been a very balanced lineup so far from this Frank Phillips College team, who only brought 8 guys here, but all 8 guys, 7 of them are in the scorebook already. Just under 9.5 minutes left to go here. North Idaho with the basketball. This Frank Phillips College defense has been very stifling as Austin Johnson is able to get that runner with his right hand to cut the lead back down to 12. I'm sorry, 10, 25-15. Frank Phillips coming out with a little set action here as they cross screen to try to get Mamich. Mamich looked like he hooked there. Instead, they're going to call a hold on Taryn Johnson. It's going to be Taryn Johnson's first, the 6'7" guard forward from Grand Prairie, Texas. And returning for the Plainsmen, number 11, Dante Sawyer. Frank Phillips definitely looked like they were trying to go to Mamich there in the post. They had some success. Mamich, the lefty, before he was able to catch there, was fouled, as this is a turnover and Doan throws it away, and Vaughn Weems on the steal. Vaughn Weems, the guy that comes in averaging 11 points a game. There's a great dump off. Looked like Johnson had an opportunity to just catch it and go up, but he chose to bounce it, make a little bit of a spin move. He's going to draw some contact and pick up a foul there from Kashim Miller. It's going to be Miller's first, and Taryn Johnson back to the free throw line, where he is already 2 of 2 on the game. First free throw for Taron Johnson is up and good, and now he has got 5 points for the Cardinals as Benny Kazadi returns for Frank Phillips College. And Taron Johnson now with an opportunity to get halfway to his average of 12.4 points per game. Guy that comes in shooting 73% from the free throw line and is now 4 for 4 on the game, and he's the team leader now with 6 points. 25-17, Frank Phillips with the lead over North Idaho here from Casper, Wyoming, as North Idaho again comes back into the man-to-man defensively now. As now we're going to have a bump. Foul looks like it's going to be on Dante Sawyer, and it is. It's going to be Sawyer's first, and it's going to be the third team foul on the Cardinals from North Idaho. Again, Coach Simmons went to that 2-3 zone there for a little while. Just did not have a whole lot of success. Frank Phillips was able to score in 3 out of the 4 possessions that they ran it against, and now they have switched back to man-to-man. I think he's hoping that his team will get a little bit of ignition from this half-court man-to-man, as the effort has been very good here so far. And they get a turnover there on a traveling violation from Kasheem Miller. So right on cue, North Idaho gets a turnover there. They get the ball back now with the lead down to 8. You would think that they would like to try to cut this lead down even further as we come to the 8-minute mark here in the first half. Little cross-screen pin down there. Skalski's got it, and now it goes to Taron Johnson. Coach Simmons told me that Johnson will plan to play about 15 minutes a day as he continues to come back from his injury. This is Austin Johnson with the missed 3. Taron Johnson with the defensive rebound. It's no good. Battle for it, Frank Phillips. This is Momich that's going to come away with it. Down to Kazadi, and Kazadi gets the bucket. It's Benny Kazadi's third basket of the game. He's got 6 points as North Idaho does not want to wait around for Frank Phillips to get back. And on the pitch ahead, foul is going to go against number 5, Jabari Harris. It's going to be his first. Kobe Campbell returns for the Cardinals, as well as Amar Cottage for the Plainsmen. 10-point game here from Sweet Erickson Gymnasium on the beautiful campus at Casper College. As it looked like Frank Phillips was trying to run a little 2-3 zone against that out-of-bounds play. This is Austin Johnson with a little right-handed floater in the lane. That's good, and Austin Johnson now has 2 buckets for his 4th points. The 6'4" sophomore guard comes in averaging just over 7 points a game. And now with a couple of baskets, it's Frank Phillips now with an 8-point lead. Amar Cottage with the 3 ball, and it is good. Cottage now has 5, a guy that comes in shooting just 25% from the 3-point line, buries his first 3-point attempt, and opens this back up to a double-digit lead. Sawyer's 3 ball got blocked initially, and he grabbed it and tried to attack it there and missed as he got a hand on that ball. And Coach Donald Harris not happy with Benny Kazadi in that pass that he just made in the backcourt, and he let Kazadi know it. We're going to have a media timeout here from Casper, Wyoming. 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first half for this non-conference game between the Plainsmen of Frank Phillips College with a 30-19 lead over North Idaho on the Casper College Network.
Here, Casper College, we can't miss.
Hold on, man. I can do better.
All right, show me.
Welcome back, fans. Sweet Erickson Gymnasium in Casper, Wyoming, as Frank Phillips College out to a 30-19 lead over North Idaho. The Plainsmen led in scoring by two different guys. Jabari Harris with 6, Benny Kazadi with 6, Thomas Kamara with 5, and Amar Cottage with 5 as well. For the Cardinals from North Idaho, Taron Johnson with 6 points, Jalen Skalski with 5, Dante Sawyer with 4, and Austin Johnson with 4 as well. Just under 7 minutes left to go here in the first half as Frank Phillips College will take the first possession after the immediate timeout. Iverson screen into a ball screen there as this is Kashim Miller swinging it back to Kazadi. Kazadi's looking in the post, and it's going to go the other direction as they get Amir Cottage with the push-off. It's going to be Cottage's second foul, and it looks like he is heading to the bench as Philip Mamich checks back in. Also for the Plainsman, number 30, Thompson Kamara checks back in as well. North Idaho basketball, this is Austin Johnson with it, using the screen from Skalski. The screen and roll there as they find Skalski on the inside. A great pass there by Austin Johnson, and Skalski now with 7 points on the game. Foul's going to go against Kamara. It's going to be his first, the team's 8th. And Skalski heads to the free throw line to try to finish the and one and cut this lead down to 8. Skalski comes in shooting 68% from the free throw line, a guy that averages just about 10 points a game. Had been coming off the bench quite a bit, but more recently now starting, as he now has 8 points, as he has shown what he has been capable of, especially on the offensive end. The big lefty capable of scoring it and rebounding it, but has scored it at a really high clip the last couple of weeks. As it looked like Frank Phillips had a back cut there, and Austin Johnson got a piece of it and knocked the ball away. This North Idaho team comes in shooting just 29.5% from the 3, good for 151st in the country. A team that doesn't really want to shoot it much from the outside, as Kamara gets his 3rd basket of the game and he's got 7 points. And you can tell that Frank Phillips is kind of doing that to them and forcing them into some jump shots that maybe they're not comfortable with, as North Idaho continues to try to throw the ball into the post, into Skalski and more so Taryn Johnson. As we get an offensive attack there from Dante Sawyer, and he picks up a blocking foul. Foul's going against Kamara. It's going to be his 2nd now. And it's going to be Dante Sawyer that's heading to the free throw line. Probably the 2nd or 3rd attempt there that Frank Phillips College has looked like they've been trying to take a charge there. They definitely got one earlier, but that one goes the other direction, as the first free throw by Sawyer is up and good. Dante Sawyer, the 6'5" sophomore guard from San Francisco, comes in averaging 13.6 points per game, leading the Cardinals in scoring, an 83% free throw shooter. He's definitely a guy that you want at the free throw line, especially down the stretch. Second free throw from Sawyer is up and good, and he has 6. And the lead cut back down to 8. Lead's been hovering right around double digits the entire game so far. It's gotten up to as many as 12 in Frank Phillips' favor. Again, 2 teams that come in with very differing records, as this shot's no good and Weems clears for North Idaho. Frank Phillips comes in having lost 8 games in a row, but it does not look that way on the scoreboard, as they have played very well so far in this first half, especially on the defensive end, as they have continued to get stops, holding North Idaho, a team that comes in averaging just over 90 points per game, to just 24 points so far in the first 14 and a half minutes of this game. On the flip side, North Idaho, a team that comes in, they've won 5 games in a row, including a couple 3 wins over Region 9 opponents in their last 3 times out in Northwest Wyoming, Western Wyoming, and then Casper College, of course, here last Friday night in the Vista Auto Thanksgiving Classic. The Plainsmen continue to be patient here. The shot clock gets down to just about 10 here. Harris kicks it. This is going to be Mamich. Mamich fires the 3 ball, and it is good. Philip Mamich, a guy that comes in averaging just over 3.5 points per game now, with 5 for himself on the game, and he opens it back up to a double-digit lead in Frank Phillips' favor. It seems like every time North Idaho gets a bucket, either a 2 or 3, and there's a 3 for Dante Sawyer, who's got 9, Frank Phillips returns the favor and comes back and gets a basket just like that. Coach Donald Harris not very happy with the defensive effort there, leaving a guy like Dante Sawyer open. Sawyer, a guy that comes in shooting 43% from 3. Again, he is North Idaho's leading scorer. He's a guy that you really can't leave, a guy that came in. He scored 23 points Thursday night against Northwest. He is a guy that they need to make sure that they know where he is at, and you can tell that Coach Harris was very well aware of that and not happy with the defensive effort there. Overall, though, I think he's got to be happy with the defensive effort that his team has showed so far. Again, holding this North Idaho team to 27 points so far. We're just under 5 minutes left to go here in the first half. A team that comes in averaging 90 points per game has been held to under 30 so far in the first 15 minutes. That bucket leads Dante Sawyer into the scoring column as he's got 9 now for North Idaho, 8 from Jalen Skalski, 6 from Taryn Johnson, and 4 from Austin Johnson, as it'll be Frank Phillips basketball here with 4.5 minutes left to go from Sweet Erickson Gymnasium. Eight-point game here in Frank Phillips' favor, as this is going to be Kasheem Miller, and he's content with waiting for things to open up here. Jabari Harris already a couple of threes for the Plainsman, as this is Kazadi. Kazadi drives it, and we're going to get a hold, and this foul is going to go on Kobe Campbell. Campbell picks up his first foul for the Cardinals, just the 4th team foul for the Cardinals, so we are still a ways away from shooting free throws here. Inbounds pass goes into Dunn and swung around now to Harris. Harris is going to use Momich's ball screen. Still looking to work, and this is going to be Kasheem Miller for a 3-ball, and it is good. And I tell you what, this Frank Phillips team has knocked down some shots, and again, they've been patient in their offense. They've waited and gotten really good looks, especially from the 3-ball, and they've been shots that have come out, and they've been off of passes, especially from the interior, that have led to open looks on the other side. Austin Johnson gets kind of stuck there at the free throw line. He kicks it back out. This is Taryn Johnson who looks to give it up, and this is Vaughn Weems. Weems misses the layup here. There's some bodies that fly, and eventually Benny Kazadi is able to clear for Frank Phillips College. Tell you what, Taryn Johnson caught that ball at about the free throw line. It was coming in full speed ahead, and it was one of the Frank Phillips players that looked to step up and take a charge, and I tell you what, my heart dropped for them because Taryn Johnson is a load, and that is not a guy that I would be interested in stepping in front of and trying to take a charge, as this foul is going to go on the aforementioned Johnson. It's going to be his 2nd, the team's 5th, and it'll be Frank Phillips College underneath. Skalski returning for the Plainsman. He's going to replace Taryn Johnson. Again, Coach Simmons told me beforehand he was thinking 15 to 20 minutes for Johnson today. He has probably been in about 7 or 8 minutes so far, so it sounds about right for him. Tough move there by Dunn as it gets blocked away, and the Cardinals are heading back the other direction. Campbell goes up and goes reverse, and he gets his first basket of the game. Kobe Campbell, a guy comes in averaging 10 points a game, shoots it just under 30% from the 3, but a guy that I know that the Cardinals really need to get going here if they want to try to get back into this thing, as he cuts the lead down to 9. Momich fires a 3-ball. It's long. Vaughn Weems on the defensive rebound, and he's going to kick it ahead to Skalski, who catches. Skalski goes up for the layup, and it's good. Jalen Skalski on a great pass ahead by Vaughn Weems. Skalski gets the basket. Momich is going to get the foul. It's going to be his 2nd. And just like that, we're back down to 7 with the potential to be 6 as Amir Cottage checks back in for Frank Phillips College. Certainly something to keep an eye on here for Frank Phillips now, as they only brought 8 players to the game. Momich with 2 fouls, Walters with 2 fouls, Kamara with 2 fouls, and Cottage with 2 fouls. As Cottage again checked back in, and he now has 2 fouls, and Skalski's free throw falls short. But he is in double figures, and the lead is down to 7. Kasheem Miller looks to use Kazadi's screen. As this is O'Donis Dunn here. They're looking in to try to get Cottage a post touch. The shot clock down to 5, now at 3. And it's going to have to be Kazadi who's going to fire off a tough shot. It's missed, and we're going to get a 30-second violation. My apologies, this is not the NBA. as we get a 30-second violation, a shot clock violation against the Plainsman from Frank Phillips College. And honestly, I'm surprised that it hasn't happened more often. This is probably the 6th or 7th time that the shot clock has gotten under 5. And the last couple of times, they've had good looks at it. This time, they are not able to get a good look as the Cardinals' defense stifles them. And they end up getting a bad shot forced from Frank Phillips College, and now a chance to cut into this 7-point lead. Dante Sawyer again gets to his left hand. He's got 11 points now for the Cardinals, and just like that, the lead cut down to 5. You got to think Coach Donald Harris for the Frank Phillips Plainsman is thinking, how do I get into the half with the lead here as North Idaho continues to chip away at this thing. Tough shot misses. Cottage with the offensive rebound misses it and grabs his own rebound, and as he goes back up, they're going to get a foul on Jalen Skalski. Skalski picks up his second foul. It's just the 6th against North Idaho, but because Cottage was on his way up, he's heading to the free throw line to shoot a pair here. First free throw is good for Cottage. The 6'7" freshman center from Sarajevo, Bosnia-Herzegovina, comes in shooting just 40% from the free throw line, but the first one looks pretty good. And the second one is good as well. Amar Cottage now 7 points as he opens the lead back up to 7. Just under a minute and a half left to go here from Sweet Erickson Gymnasium in Casper College. Campbell with a great shot fake as he steps into that lefty jumper, and it is good. Kobe Campbell now looking to get it going as he's got 4 points. The Troy commit with a great shot fake, and when he can get to that left hand into a pull-up jump shot, it is pretty automatic. We are under a minute left here in the first quarter. Jabari Harris looking to back down as he kicks it out. Kazadi gets a 3 ball that's no good, and Vaughn Weems with a defensive rebound. Vaughn Weems is a guy that I really like to watch personally as he is a great athlete, and he's a guy that stuffs the stat sheet in ways that don't include scoring. A guy that rebounds it really well, a guy that's long, that defends at a high level, and just makes a lot of winning plays for this North Idaho basketball team. As that foul is going to go on Adonis Dunn, it's going to be his first, the team's 10th, and the Cardinals now in double bonus here with a chance to put a couple of points on the board here with the clock stopped. 46.3 seconds left to go in the first half, and a 5-point lead for Frank Phillips College. First free throw is up and good for Skalski. He now leads everyone with 11 on the game as Anthony Walters checks back in for the Plainsman. And Kamara checks back in as well for the Plainsman. I'm a big fan here of the psychology on what teams want to do as Skalski's second free throw is good. If they decide that they want to try to go for a 2-for-1 here and try to get that last shot, as it looks like now that's what Coach Harris wanted to do, and it works out very well as Jabari Harris gets to the lane, gets his bucket, gets fouled. Foul's going to go on Kobe Campbell. It's going to be his second. And now Frank Phillips College, theoretically, according to the clock, should probably get the last shot here. Coach Harris, it looks like trying to sub a little bit offense and defense, but again, when you've only got 8 guys and 4 of them have 2 fouls, you don't really have a whole lot of options to try to keep guys out of foul trouble here. Free throw from Harris is short, and this is Dante Sawyer with the defensive rebound. Frank Phillips showing a little 2-1-2 press here. As that guy in the middle, Adonis Dunn, a guy that has to really scramble around out of that. Don't really see that very often off of a missed free throw in that situation, but it looked like they were prepared for it. As Sawyer misses the 3-ball short, Skalski with the defensive rebound, and he's going to his left side that misses. Defensive rebound goes to Kadazi. It's turned over. Austin Johnson fires a 3, and it's no good. And just like that, this is Cottage driving, flips it up, and it's no good. Shot was blocked by Skalski, but they're looking like it's going to be a goaltend, and that basket will be credited to Amar Cottage who now has 9 points on the game. And the Plainsmen have opened this up to a 7-point game with just 5.5 seconds left. Sawyer's going to be able to run out. The ball gets deflected away. They're going to get a look at it here. This is Harris. And the bucket doesn't go, and we're into the half. Coach Simmons not very happy about something, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. We're at halftime here from Sweet Erickson Gymnasium on the beautiful campus at Casper College. The Frank Phillips Plainsmen with a 44-37 lead over the Cardinals from North Idaho. We'll be back in 12 minutes for the halftime stats and the conclusion of this game on the Casper College Network.
Casper College is a great place to start out your college journey. It's, again, there's small class sizes, there's really nice buildings and facilities, there's lots of variety of classes to choose from. To start off, there's all kinds of things you can try. If you're not sure what you want to do, like I was when I started, there's lots of things you can try, from lots of different foreign languages like Japanese or Russian, or the typical things like business and English, and there's lots of really good health science stuff here. So it's a great place to get started, and so I think people should give it a chance rather than going off to college somewhere else. This is a great place locally to kind of dip your toe in the water, so to speak.
I chose Casper College because it's my hometown, and it always been like a goal of mine to come here first and then maybe go on, but I actually liked it here a lot better, so I decided to stay here. I like the community here, like how they do these things like the barbecues and everything. I think that's really cool how they try to get the students and everyone together. It's affordable for a lot of students, even out-of-state students, and also it's like I said earlier, the community, it's really good, and they try to help you in any way that they can here. And I know bigger universities don't care as much, and I think Casper College is perfect. I don't know, feels like home.
Welcome back, fans. Sweet Erickson Gymnasium on the beautiful campus at Casper College as the Plainsman from Frank Phillips with a 44-37 lead over North Idaho in this neutral site contest between the two teams. Halftime stats leading the way first for the Frank Phillips Plainsman with 9 points, Amar Cottage, 8 points from Jabari Harris, 7 points from Thompson Kamara, who was battling a little bit of foul trouble there at the end of the half. 6 points for Kashim Miller, 6 for Benny Kazadi, 5 for Philip Mamich, and 3 for Anthony Walters. Again, Frank Phillips only brought 8 guys up here with him. 7 guys in the scorers column already for the leaders on the scoreboard at the half. On the other side, for the Cardinals from North Idaho, 12 points for Jalen Skalski, 11 from Dante Sawyer, 6 from Taryn Johnson, 4 from Austin Johnson, and 4 from Kobe Campbell. Taryn Johnson again, a guy that we were going to kind of keep an eye on minutes-wise. He comes in averaging 12.4 points per game, played just over 10 minutes in that first half, and was able to score 6 points for the Cardinals. A couple of key stats that really stuck out to me looking through the stat sheet. Number one, the reason that North Idaho able to keep this thing so close, they go 11 of 12 from the free throw line for 92%, whereas the Plainsman from Frank Phillips only shot 3 times and made 2 of those 3 attempts. On the other side, Frank Phillips goes 8 of 13 from the 3-point line for 62%. Again, we talked about the shots that they were taking, especially for the handful of possessions where North Idaho went to that zone. They got a bunch of great looks from the 3-ball and knocked those down. On the other side, North Idaho, a team that comes in shooting under 30% from the 3-point line, just 2 of 8 from 3 for 25%. And that has been the difference in the game so far, as Frank Phillips with a 44-37 lead as we get ready to start this second half here from Sweet Erickson Gymnasium and Casper College. Looks like both teams are going to go back to their starters. For the Plainsman from Frank Phillips, number 3, Odonis Dunn. Maybe it's going to be number 5, Jabari Harris. Number 10, Philip Mamich. Number 20, Benny Kazadi. And number 30, Kamara Thompson. As there is that slight change, Jabari Harris getting the start in the second half instead of Kashim Miller. And on the other side for the Cardinals from North Idaho, they're going to go with number 3, Kobe Campbell, number 5, Kyle Karstetter, number 10, Tayshawn Colvin, number 11, Dante Sawyer, and number 24, Jalen Skalski. So North Idaho will go the same way that they started. It's going to be Frank Phillips basketball to start this second half here. Again, if you're just tuning in, Frank Phillips comes in having lost 8 games in a row, but out to a 7-point lead, and they really have been up most of the game. They got up as many as 12 here in the first half, and we are underway in the second half from Casper, Wyoming. Benny Kazadi's going to fire the 3-ball, and it misses short and left. The ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to be North Idaho basketball as the Cardinals come out and get the first stop of the game. Of the half. My apologies. This is Dante Sawyer, a guy that comes in averaging over 13 points a game. He's got 11 so far in the first half. As Frank Phillips comes out in a 2-3 zone, this is going to be Tayshawn Colvin, who misses short. Rebound is all white underneath, but the ball bounces away, and it's going to be Kamara who comes away with a defensive rebound for Frank Phillips. Again, the Plainsmen look to push tempo, but once nothing is there, very content slowing the ball down. They end up turning it over here. Karstetter kicks it away to Skalski, to Campbell, back to Skalski, and Skalski's got the layup. Jalen Skalski now with 14 on the game as he and Kobe Campbell run a little give and go on the fast break there, and the lead now cut down to 5. Frank Phillips comes out in their first 2 possessions. They airball a 3-point shot and then turn the ball over as Odonis Dunn gets Frank Phillips on the board in the second half with his first basket of the game and kicks that lead back to 7. Karstetter catches, fades away, misses the jump shot. Mamich with the defensive rebound. And now it's going to be Harris pushing tempo. Jabari Harris, a guy that came off the bench in the first half, the 6'2 freshman guard from Fort Worth with 8 points on a couple of 3 balls. This is Kamara, a very capable 3-point shooter who misses off the heel, and it's going to be Kobe Campbell heading the other direction. And just like that, Sawyer on his drive stepped on the sideline, and it's going to be Frank Phillips basketball. Anthony Walters checks back in for Frank Phillips. As I was kind of curious because I saw Odonis Dunn walking in the other direction. He started heading towards the North Idaho bench, but instead he's actually heading towards the trainer's room. Hope that Odonis Dunn is okay, as Frank Phillips now literally only has 2 guys sitting on the bench. They've got more assistant coaches sitting on the bench than they do players right now. Walters looked to drive it. This is Harris again for 3. He misses, and it's going to be Skalski on the defensive rebound for the Cardinals. Dante Sawyer fires the 3, and it's no good. And he's a guy you can't really give that many chances to, a very, very capable shooter that just happened to miss that one. And you can hear the assistant coaches yelling that he's a shooter as that shot went up, and nobody was able to get out to him. And I think Frank Phillips got away with one there. Tayshawn Colvin fires the 3 ball, and this one's good. Colvin comes in a 33% 3-point shooter as he's got his first basket of the game, and it's a 3 to cut this lead down to now 4 points for the Plainsmen. This is about as close as it's been since 15 minutes or so into the game. This little step back there by Walters is good. Anthony Walters now 5 points for the 6'3 sophomore guard out of Queens, New York, as he comes in averaging a little over 9 a game. Block call goes in North Idaho's direction. Mamich tried to step up and get a body on there. Dante Sawyer with the little Euro step was just enough to get Mamich sliding a little bit to his left. Mamich gets called with his 3rd foul, the first on Frank Phillips in the second half. And this is going to be Dante Sawyer heading to the free throw line, looking to get on the board for the first time in the second half for him. First free throw is up and good. And Amir Cottage returns for the Plainsmen as he replaces Mamich. Sawyer's second free throw is up, and it is good as well. He's got 13 on the game now, leading all scorers, and the Plainsmen with a 48-44 lead over North Idaho. Juan Weems to the scorer's table gets set to check back in as he made a dramatic appearance diving towards the scorer's table there. Kamara, very capable 3-point shooter as he buries that. The lefty with a sweet stroke there. Thompson Kamara with 10 points now. Again, late in the shot clock there as they take it down. Kamara, a guy with the length that he can shoot it over the top of anybody that defends him. And that's all he did, is he just had a hand in his face, fired up the 3 ball and got it as Kobe Campbell gets to his strong left hand. And now he's got 6 points in the game, including 2 here in the second half. It's been a type of game where Frank Phillips has looked like they were going to pull away as Kamara gets fouled there. Foul's going to go on Sawyer. It's going to be his second. It's been a game where you think that Frank Phillips maybe is going to pull away, and then North Idaho tightens it up a little bit, and then you think maybe North Idaho is going to tie it or take the lead, and Frank Phillips opens it up a little bit. And so it's kind of been a back and forth, but it's never really been more than a 6 to 10 point game in Frank Phillips' favor, at least for the last 10 to 15 minutes of game time. Kamara's first free throw is good. He's now got 11 in leads. Frank Phillips as Vaughn Weems returns and replaces Carstetter. Kamara comes in averaging 14 points a game, the 6'7" wing from Nigeria, shooting 93% from the free throw line. The lefty with a really nice looking stroke. And the second one is good as well. You don't see that good of a stroke from guys, especially when they're 6'7", but he comes in averaging 14 points a game, 5 rebounds a game, and he has got 12 so far. As Frank Phillips drops back there into that 2-3 zone again, this is Vaughn Weems off of the great pass from Sawyer there, And Vaughn Weems now in the score column with 2 points and the lead down to 5. Post entry touch goes to Walters. Walters looking as he's stuck. Looks to come back out. Tried to get it to Harris, but the ball gets stolen by Campbell. Campbell in with the left hand. Kobe Campbell now with 8 points on his way to his 10 average that he has on the season. And we are down to a one-possession basketball game as Frank Phillips' lead is down to 3. Harris kicks it out, barely. Kazadi looks inside to the post, and this is Cottage. The double comes from Campbell. This is Walters for a 3. It misses left, and Vaughn Weems there for the defensive rebound, and he's going to kickstart the break the other way. Colvin finds Skalski, who finds Weems. Weems with the layup. Weems now with 4 points, and we are down to a 1-point game. And it looks like Coach Donald Harris is going to call a timeout for Frank Phillips, as again, this lead cut down to 1 now. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, so we are going to stay here with you. Frank Phillips, again, in the lead the whole way. We got some guys sitting down. We got some guys standing up. I'm not sure. It looked like it was a 30-second timeout. I'm not sure if it's going to turn into a media timeout. We don't want you guys missing any of the action, so we're going to stay right here with you. 53-52. Frank Phillips with the lead over North Idaho. Leading the way for North Idaho so far, Dante Sawyer with 13 points, Jalen Skalski with 14 points, Kobe Campbell now with 8 of his own. On the other side for the Plainsman from Frank Phillips, Thompson Kamara with 12 points, Amar Cottage with 9, and Jabari Harris with 8. As we are just going to go with a 30-second timeout, and we are going to be back here. It's going to be Frank Phillips basketball in this neutral site contest between Region 18 and Region 5 opponents. Just over 5 minutes gone here in the second half. Kamara with another 3-ball off of a very simple just pick and pop there. Thompson Kamara now with 15 points for the Plainsmen, and they open the lead back up to 4. Just a very simple, just pick and pop out of the timeout. You think about guys coming out of timeouts and running a great set play or something like that. Frank Phillips had no interest in doing that. Just a simple pick and pop, get their best player a shot for 3, and it goes down. Kamara looking for something here. This is going to be Walters on the drive. The big-bodied forward kind of threw himself into some contact there, and it looks like Mr. Roosevelt Brown's going to get a foul on Vaughn Weems. Weems picks up his first foul. They're going to send Anthony Walters to the free throw line. Walters, the 6'3" guard from Queens, New York, comes in averaging just over 9 points a game. And now we're going to get our media timeout here from Sweet Erickson Gymnasium on the beautiful campus of Casper College and the Casper College Network.
So one of the main reasons I chose Casper College is I'm from Casper, born and raised, and it's great that we have this community college here that it's ranked pretty high among community colleges. So I'm a non-traditional student, and I was a little bit nervous to come back to college, I guess. My major while I was a CC student was psychology, and I also got to be the president of the psychology club. I just had so many opportunities for leadership and personal growth, and I've just been so thankful. I really never imagined all of the opportunities that I would have had here. Just go for it. Like, there is so much to do and so many things to be involved in, and challenge yourself, push beyond your own limitations that you had in your mind.
We are back, fans. Sweet Erickson Gymnasium, the home of the Casper College Thunderbirds. Neutral site contest between the North Idaho Cardinals and the Frank Phillips Plainsmen. At the free throw line, number 24, Anthony Walters for the Plainsmen. First free throw is up, and it is good. Walters now with 6 points on the game. The 6'3" sophomore guard from Queens, New York, comes in shooting 64% from the field. And now it looks like they're going to have a conversation at the scorer's table. Head coach of the Plainsman, Donald Harris, asking some questions. Maybe either about a sub potentially It does look like Taryn Johnson checked into the game at some point during that timeout. There is a certain amount of time that a coach has to make a substitute during a timeout before that substitute becomes ineligible from subbing into the game. I don't know if that could potentially be something, or it now looks like they're looking in the scorer's book potentially, maybe at a player that is not in uniform, but all these guys that are on the floor have been into the game already. So I'm not exactly sure what they could potentially be looking at. Maybe a score. I guess it says on the scoreboard now that North Idaho has a 55-54 lead, which I would assume is maybe the issue. Frank Phillips should be in the lead. I believe they were up by 3 or 4. I do not keep a running total up here. I guess I could add these together here. 10, 15, 21, 27, 33, 48, 57 for the Plainsman, it looks like. And then 6, 10, 14, 22, 35, 49. $52? I think it's 57-52, if my math is correct. That's what I'm guessing that the problem is. As you can tell on your screens as well, North Idaho with a 55-54 lead is what it says on the screen. I believe Frank Phillips should be up 57-52. After that free throw. But it looks like that's what they're discussing. Looks like they're counting up the book. I'm going to have to run out to my car and grab a calculator here. Maybe I can help these guys out a little bit. I do teach a little bit of math here at the high school. Certainly not great at it by any means. And so I hope that these guys are getting the job done. We are going to stay with you here. I'm not exactly sure how long this is going to take. It looks like they are finally getting it figured out. Roosevelt Brown and Ryan Gross over there, it looks like, taking care of the scorebooks. Ben Partlow, the third official, hanging out at the free throw line. Just kind of hanging on to the basketball there, making sure that nobody sneaks away with that thing as we are sitting in this timeout, waiting to make sure that we can get the score correct here from Sweet Erickson Gymnasium on the beautiful campus of Casper College. And it looks like now we finally have it taken care of. And the scoreboard now says Plainsman 55, North Idaho 53. Again, according to my very inaccurate stats, I had it 57-52. So maybe I have a basket on the wrong side of things. As the second free throw from Walters is good. He now has 7 points on the game, and it is a 3-point lead in Frank Phillips' favor. So a little bit of a weird situation there again. The score was off. It looked like they had maybe put points on the wrong side, as we're going to have a holding foul here. That foul is going to go on Jabari Harris, as he had gotten switched on to Vaughn Weems, and Weems was going to try to back him down into the post. Again, Weems, the guy that doesn't fill it up in the stat sheets as much as you would think. A guy, he comes in averaging 10 points a game, 5 rebounds a game, but he just does so many winning things. He rebounds the basketball, especially on the offensive end. A guy that plays above the rim. Just a guy that I really enjoy watching. A guy that gets after it on the defensive end for the Cardinals from North Idaho. Thompson Kamara drives it to the right side, the lefty. Wanted a foul call there, thought he got banged, but Ryan Gross did not agree with him, and the Plainsmen still with a 3-point lead here, as North Idaho with the chance to cut this lead down to 1 or tie it, and they will cut it down to 1 as Dante Sawyer gets his 15th point of the game. 56-55, Frank Phillips with the 1-point lead now as they are trying to hold on to this thing. The ball gets entered into Cottage. They doubled Cottage pretty hard in the first half. They choose not to this time as the skip pass goes to Walters, and now Walters is stuck. Shot clock down to 7, and Cottage is going to fire a 3-ball that misses short, and Kobe Campbell with the defensive rebound for the Plainsman. Campbell looks into Taryn Johnson, and if I had to guess, Johnson wants to try to get to his left hand as he has done so far. That right shoulder. This time he does. He gets forced into his other shoulder and ends up throwing the ball away. Cottage was playing him really hard on that right shoulder, forcing him to go to the left shoulder. You can tell that Johnson's a guy that feels more comfortable trying to get to that right shoulder so they can get to that left-hand baby hook that was so successful in the first half. And Johnson ends up throwing the ball into the stands, and it'll be Frank Phillips basketball. Kasheem Miller, Jabari Harris. This is Cottage. Walters in the corner as well as Kamara. They double Cottage again, and they leave Walters. Walters hits the 3-ball. Anthony Walters, a guy comes in averaging just over 9 points a game. He's got 10 now on the game. And again, we talked about at the halftime break about how they shot the highest success level of 3-point shots as Skalski gets the putback there, and Skalski's got 16. Frank Phillips at the half was 8 of 13 from 3, and a lot of those 13 shots came from driving kicks or entry passes from the post and got them really good looks at the 3-ball, and that was another one right there as Walters was able to knock down the 3-ball. Cottage again here, they decide not to go with the double, and Austin Johnson almost just kind of ran into Cottage's arm there, and he's going to pick up his first foul and the team's third. North Idaho done a pretty good job of determining when and where to double on Cottage, but Cottage also has done a nice job of passing the ball out of the double team. He's found open teammates, and they've gotten layups, and Anthony Walters continues to play very well off the bench for the Plainsman now. He has 12 points and opens the lead back up to 4. Jump shot by Sawyer is no good. This is Jabari Harris with the defensive rebound, and the Plainsman again content with slowing things down and executing in the half court. Harris drives it to his left, and he gets bumped by Kobe Campbell as he rejected that ball screen, and Campbell was not able to ever get back in front. Campbell picks up his 3rd foul. It's going to be the team's 4th, and Vaughn Weems going to return for the Cardinals. Frank Phillips' team been on the road now a couple of days as they played at Lamar 2 nights ago. Made the drive up to Casper Kamara with a 3-ball, and again the lefty with a sweet stroke, and he's got 18 points and opens this thing back up to a 7-point game. Taryn Johnson's going to get a blocking foul called here against Kamara, as again just a little bit of a slide there. Johnson did a nice job of shifting to his right, just enough to make Kamara slide over to his left, and Kamara gets called with the blocking foul according to Ben Partlow. Taryn Johnson comes in averaging 12.4 points a game. He's at 6 so far, looking to get on the scoreboard for the first time in the second half. First free throw is good. Johnson comes in as the second leading scorer for the Cardinals, but again has been dealing with some injuries, still working his way back physically. He missed last Saturday's game here at Casper College against Western Wyoming, came back and played Thursday night against Northwest Wyoming, and now back in the game here. And Coach Simmons again said that they were going to try to limit him to about 15 minutes as Kyle Karstetter checks back in for Johnson. Johnson with 8 points on the game. 64-59, the Plainsmen with the 5-point lead. 10.5 minutes to go here from Sweet Erickson Gymnasium. Jabari Harris rejects the screen, kicks it to Cottage. Cottage with the drive, and he finds Kamara in the middle, and Kamara's got a wide open layup. Kind of a funky play. Cottage kind of fumbled it a little bit on the perimeter. Ended up bouncing back to him, and he finds Kamara standing wide open right in front of the basket. And as good of a shooter as Kamara is, that layup is probably an even easier shot as Frank Phillips gets the steal in the run out. But the layup gets missed by Harris, and Vaughn Weems with the defensive rebound. Campbell finds Weems. Weems to Skalski, and Skalski gets the basket. Skalski now with 18 points, and again, Vaughn Weems on the steal or on the block on one end, gets the defensive rebound, and then he's the guy in the middle running the break, catches it, and makes a great pass for an assist. Kasheem Miller trying to get Frank Phillips into something here offensively. Walters looks to drive it now, and this is going to be Harris with a 3 ball. As he had a couple in the first half. That one does not go, and Dante Sawyer clears for the Cardinals. Cardinals trailing by 5, 9.5 minutes to go here in the second half. Vaughn Weems looking to try to get something going in the post there. He turned to his off shoulder. Weems the lefty tried to get to his left shoulder and go up with the right hand. And Roosevelt Brown thought that he kind of slid that pivot foot just enough and gets called for a traveling violation. It's going to be Frank Phillips basketball. Odonis Dunn has checked back in for Frank Phillips. Looks like he's going to be okay to go, which is a really good thing because, again, Frank Phillips College, only 8 players on the roster right now. As that's a tough floater, and skying for the rebound is Dante Sawyer, and here come the Cardinals from North Idaho. Kobe Campbell uses the ball screen. He thought about a 3 and changed his mind, and this is going to be Skalski with it on the wing. Skalski's got a size mismatch there against Dunn. Tries to find Weems on the back cut. The ball gets kicked out of bounds, and they're going to reset the shot clock to 20 with exactly 9 minutes to go here in the second half. Jalen Skalski going to inbound for North Idaho. 18 points so far on the game. And he's going to set a ball screen, it looks like, for Campbell. Campbell trying to get to his right hand. And Campbell trying to find Skalski on the roll. Skalski never there. And the ball gets turned over, and it's going to be Frank Phillips basketball. You got to wonder if now North Idaho, again, been trailing pretty much since about the 5 minutes into the game. You wonder if Coach Simmons will adjust something defensively, maybe look to pick up the pressure. They haven't showed a ton of press so far. They did 2 or 3 possessions in the first half, didn't have much success with it, but you kind of wonder if maybe they don't go to something like that and maybe look to turn Frank Phillips over just a little bit more than they have so far. Frank Phillips just turned the ball over 4 times in the first half. Again, 2 nights ago at Lamar, they turned the ball over 23 times in an 8-point loss to Lamar and ended up being the difference in that basketball game. North Idaho not had the success in turning Frank Phillips over here, and Frank Phillips, with time to do things, they've made open shots, they've attacked the rim offensively, and they've gotten to the free throw line, as Anthony Walters just does right there. Foul's going to go on Kyle Karstetter. It's going to be his first foul and the team's 5th. Frank Phillips has also done a nice job defensively in this second half of staying out of foul trouble. First half, they have 4 different players. 4 of their 8, half of their guys, had picked up 2 fouls in the first half. Coach Harris does a nice job of making sure that guys are staying out of foul trouble so far. They've only picked up 3 team fouls here in the second half, as that second free throw is no good. And so now Thompson Kamara, the only guy, and Philip Momich, both with 3 for Frank Phillips, but nobody really in a ton of trouble right now as far as fouls are concerned. Sawyer and Johnson trying to play a little bit of a 2-man game as that ball gets deflected and hits Weems in the face. And it's going to be another turnover, and Frank Phillips now will set up their half-court offense. 6-point advantage for them, 8 minutes left to go here in the second half from Sweet Erickson Gymnasium. Kasheem Miller looking to attack. He finds Mamich. Mamich on the catch gets called for a traveling violation. His feet were shuffling. Ball got stuck between his hand and his hip. He gets called for the walk. We get a handful of subs. Kasheem Miller checks back out. Kamara's out as Harris and looks like Benny Kazadi is also going to check back in for Frank Phillips. On the other side, North Idaho, Austin Johnson checks back in for the Cardinals. Johnson, the 6'4" sophomore guard from Oakland, with 4 points on the game so far. He's going to use the screen from Taron Johnson and then the rescreen, and Austin's going to fire the 3 ball, and it is good. So the Johnson-Johnson connection right there, the ball screen and then the rescreen, and Austin Johnson steps back and fires a 3-ball and cuts this lead down to 3. Again, as I said before, it seems like every time it looks like North Idaho is going to take this game over, Frank Phillips finds a way to get a bucket. Momich kicks it back out. Walters is going to fire another wide-open 3-ball. This one doesn't go, but Kazadi with the offensive rebound put back, and it's good with a foul. Benny Kazadi kind of in the right place at the right time there. The foul's going to go against Austin Johnson. It's going to be his second. And just as I said, it gets down to a 3-point game. Frank Phillips comes down. They had a good look at 3 that doesn't go in. Kazadi in the right place at the right time, grabs an offensive rebound, gets the putback and the foul. Kazadi, the 6'7" freshman from Ontario, Canada, shoots it at 78% from the free throw line. And his free throw is good. Kazadi now with 9 points, 3 of those in the second half. And Frank Phillips opens up a 6-point lead. Now showing a little bit of a 1-2-2 here. It's a great pass fake by Weems. And they break the press. Taron Johnson with one dribble and bounces it to the left side and gets the layup. Frank Phillips, for the first time today, shows a little bit of pressure there. They go with the 1-2-2, and it all sets up with Weems. Weems with the pass fake across. They throw it into the middle. One more pass, and Taron Johnson's got a layup. As Harris went up and just got rejected by Johnson and Weems, both off the backboard, but Frank Phillips is able to recover. And it looks like we are going to head to our last media timeout of the game. Frank Phillips with a 70-66 lead over North Idaho in this neutral site contest from Casper College and the Casper College Network.
At Casper College, we're a hustle culture. We hustle for everything. Everything!
Hustle! 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 That's better.
I want them to know that they'll be accepted. There's a lot of opportunities here, and there'll be a lot of one-on-one with the teacher. You'll get a lot more personal experience, and there's a lot of opportunities through Casper College, not just with getting a degree, but also like outside work and extracurricular stuff.
Welcome back, Van Sweet Erickson Gymnasium, the home of the Casper College Thunderbirds, as we have this neutral site matchup between the Frank Phillips Plainsmen and the North Idaho Cardinals. Frank Phillips with a 70-66 lead. 6.5 minutes left here in the second half. It's going to be Frank Phillips basketball. Thompson Kamara for the Plainsmen leading the way with 20 points. For the Cardinals, Jalen Skalski with 18, Dante Sawyer with 15. And it'll be Frank Phillips basketball underneath. Dunn looks to enter. Walters gets held up by a great defensive effort there. Austin Johnson slid over to help. They were going to try to skip it across to the corner. Vaughn Weems was right in the way, and they force a turnover from Anthony Walters, who slid his pivot foot. And now North Idaho with an opportunity to cut into this 4-point advantage. Thompson Kamara going to check back in for Walters. Kamara with 3 fouls, but also with 20 points. He's a guy that Coach Donald Harris really needs on the floor here for the Plainsmen. North Idaho with a great back cut set there as Vaughn Weems catches the back pass from Skalski, and Vaughn Weems rises above and drops the hammer. And just like that, it's back to a 2-point basketball game, and North Idaho now back into their 2-3 zone. This 2-3 zone looks a little bit different than the one earlier, as you get Austin Johnson and you get Dante Sawyer playing at the top of this thing. 2 guys that are both 6'4" and 6'5", respectively. Those long arms at the top of that 2-3 zone certainly make a difference. No offense to somebody like Kobe Campbell, but a 6'2" guard with those arms is not making the difference that these 2 guys are at the top of it. We'll see if it makes a difference, as the 2-3 zone was not especially effective for the Cardinals in the first half. But they are going to stay in it here. Frank Phillips is able to find the high post and then out to Kamara. Kamara shoots an air ball that's short, and Vaughn Weems there on the defensive rebound for the Cardinals. Cardinals now with an opportunity to take the first lead of the game since the 1:14 mark in the first half. 1 minute and 14 seconds into the game. It has been all Frank Phillips so far. North Idaho continues to find ways to open the lead up as we get another turnover here, and Philip Momich with the steal. And the Plainsmen are going to take the ball back, and they're going to slow things down. Dunn finds Momich at the top, and Momich to Kazadi. North Idaho now back in man-to-man. They're trying to throw it into Momich. There they go. Walters finds him. The double comes. Walters thought about it and ends up trying to attack it and turns it over, and this is Austin Johnson with the run out. Johnson goes up. He gets two, and we are back to square. 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game, and it is 70-70. We talked about the two different styles between these two teams before the game. Frank Phillips, a team that scores 61 points a game. North Idaho, a team that scores 90 points a game. It looks like we're going to fall somewhere in the middle, but one of these two teams is going to have to find a way to win this. Dunn's going to fire a three off the bounce. Never really looked like he got a great handle on it. And once again, Vaughn Weems there with the defensive rebound. And the Cardinals a chance to take the lead for the first time since the 18.5-minute mark in the first half. Austin Johnson's going to fire a three ball, and it is pure with the assist from Skalski. And just like that, North Idaho ahead 73-70. And Coach Harris wants a timeout to talk about it as he's going to get a couple of subs in. 4 minutes and 11 seconds left here in the second half. We're going to have a full timeout, so we're going to go to a quick break. 4:11 here left in the second half. North Idaho has taken their first lead since the 18.5-minute mark, 73-70 on the Casper College Network.
I think Casper College is a great place to start out your college journey. It's, again, there's small class sizes. There's really nice buildings and facilities. There's lots of variety of classes to choose from. To start off, there's all kinds of things you can try. If you're not sure what you want to do, like I was when I started, there's lots of things you can try, from lots of different foreign languages like Japanese or Russian, or the typical things like business and English, and there's lots of really good health science stuff here. So it's a great place to get started. And so I think people should give it a chance rather than going off to college somewhere else. This is a great place locally to kind of dip your toe in the water, so to speak.
Welcome back, fans. Sweet Erickson Gymnasium on the beautiful campus of Casper College for this neutral site matchup between North Idaho and Frank Phillips. Leading the way so far for Frank Phillips, Thompson Kamara with 20 points, Anthony Walters with 13 of his own. For the Cardinals from North Idaho, Jalen Skalski with 18 points, Dante Sawyer with 15, Austin Johnson now with 12, Taryn Johnson with 10. It'll be Frank Phillips basketball trailing for the first time really of the day with a 3-point deficit, as this is Jabari Harris with it on the wing. He's going to use the screen from Cottage, looks to attack. This is the first time today I think that we've seen both of the bigs from Frank Phillips, as Mamich goes up, misses the left-handed layup, and Vaughn Weems clears for North Idaho. Again, first time today I think that we've seen both of these bigs together in Cottage and Mamich for Frank Phillips. As Vaughn Weems catches on the wing, this is Austin Johnson looking for the three ball. He's going to drive it now. Tries to find Sawyer on the cut, and the ball gets deflected out of bounds. And they're going to say it gets deflected off of Frank Phillips, and it's going to stay with the Cardinals. Just 8 left on the shot clock here. North Idaho with a 3-point lead. Austin Johnson finds Skalski, and Skalski gets bodied and gets the bucket. Ball just kind of hit Skalski in the chest, and he caught it, kind of flipped it up, and he got bumped on the way. Foul's going to go on Philip Mamich. It's going to be his 4th, as Kazadi checks back in and replaces Mamich, who picks up his 4th foul. Skalski now with 20 points on the game, and he's got an opportunity with one more here to open this thing up to a 6-point North Idaho lead. Skolsky, a 68% free throw shooter on the season, averages just under 10 points a game, and that one's no good, and Kazadi clears for Frank Phillips. Still a 5-point game here, just 2 possessions now for Frank Phillips. A little under 3.5 minutes to go here in the second half, and this is going to be Jabari Harris setting up some offense. They look to try to throw it into College, but there's nothing there. This is Kamara. He's the guy I think that they want the ball in his hand as he tries to scoop with the left. Misses it short. The battle for a rebound, it's going to go off of Kamara, and it's going to be North Idaho basketball. Kamara, again, the leading scorer, the guy that they think they wanted taking that shot there, but he was unable to get to his strong left hand. Ended up having to try to scoop under with that left hand. Shot doesn't go, and then the rebound bounces out of bounds. And this is Taryn Johnson who finds Weems. Weems the 3-ball, and it is pure. Vaughn Weems with the 3-ball off of a great pass from Taryn Johnson, the lefty-to-lefty connection. Johnson just drove it to that left hand along the baseline, skipped it across, and Vaughn Weems just pure. We've got a full timeout here from Casper College. 2:54 left as North Idaho now has opened up an 8-point lead over Frank Phillips College on the Casper Network.
Hey, Coach, so I've been with you for a couple weeks. What's your philosophy on player development?
Yeah, great question. I mean, it really boils down to 2 things, imagination and creativity.
Good, fine, good, yes, go, quick, one more time, it's coming, Georgie, oh no, Georgie, give me that, don't step on my 2, don't step on my 2, quick, finish, let's go, come on, Frank, let's go, jump on your shot, get your shot up, go, one more, let's go, get it up, go, finish it, nice job, nice job.
Welcome back, fans. Sweet Erickson Gymnasium for this neutral site contest between North Idaho and Frank Phillips. North Idaho with a 78-70 lead with 2 minutes and 54 seconds left to go here. Fans, remember, stick around. Game 2 of this doubleheader tonight will see the Casper College Thunderbirds, the homestanding Thunderbirds, and they will take on Colorado Northwestern. The Region 18 opponent will be a rematch from a few weeks ago on Colorado Northwestern's home floor as the return matchup here at Casper. That game scheduled to tip around 7:30. Jack Noakes will be on the call for that one, and he will have all the action for you. North Idaho shows a little bit of pressure there. It's more of a denial and making it tough to get the ball inbounds. They finally do as they find Harris at half court, and now Dunn is going to get them set up. Cottage setting the ball screen as Dunn pulls up for the 15-footer, and it is good. Odonis Dunn hasn't done a whole lot so far today, but he comes off the ball screen, gets that 15-footer. He's got 4 points in the game, and the lead now cut back down to 6 with just under 2.5 minutes to go here. Vaughn Weems finds Skolsky on the back cut. Skolsky went up to hammer it, and he gets fouled by Thompson Kamara. Nothing vicious there. 2 guys going up. They meet at the rim, and as Skolsky came back, Kamara went up, tried to get a piece of it, ends up getting some arm there. Kamara's going to pick up his 4th foul. Skolsky heading to the free throw line for 2 shots. Skolsky looks like he maybe banged his knee or might be a little bit tight in his calves or his ankles there. Looking like maybe it's right calf that looks like it might be a problem. It looked like maybe he banged his knee. Skolsky going to take his time before he attempts this free throw opportunity here. Thompson Kamara, the leading scorer for Frank Phillips now with his 4th foul. Only 2.5 minutes left to go. I can't imagine that Coach Donald Harris is going to pull him out at this point as Skolsky heads to the free throw line for his 2. First free throw from Jalen Skolsky is up and good, and Skolsky now has 21 on the game. Kyle Karstetter looks to check in. I believe he's probably going to replace Skolsky if this second free throw goes. Second free throw from Skolsky is up, and it is good also. Jalen Skolsky, 22 points on the game. He is the game leader as Kyle Karstetter replaces him. And North Idaho again is going to show a little bit of what I would assume is probably some token pressure here just to make Frank Phillips pick the ball up as Odonis Dunn does a nice job of waiting to pick it up, and this is going to be Cottage with it at the top of the key. Back to Dunn. Dunn off that ball screen again. This time it's going to be Kazadi. Kazadi tried to find Cottage, and the ball gets deflected, and now Austin Johnson very content with walking this ball at the basketball floor as they have an 80-72 lead. Johnson gets it deflected away. Harris got a piece of it. Kamara takes it away, and then Kamara tries to make a cross-court pass that Vaughn Weems steps in front of, and then Vaughn Weems decides he's going to slow things down, and Coach Simmons now wants a 30-second timeout to talk about it. Looks like the conversation that they're going to have is with Austin Johnson there and trying to make a better decision there. You know, a guy that you're up by 8 points, certainly not anything that you want to have to force tempo with. He gets a ball deflected and ends up being stolen. They end up turning the ball back over, and it doesn't necessarily hurt North Idaho as much as it probably could have, but a situation you certainly want a guy to grow from, and especially you want a sophomore and 6'4" guard Austin Johnson. You want him to make sure that he's capable of handling the basketball, as you're sure that this is not the last close game that North Idaho is going to play in this year. You want him to understand the situation and that maybe attacking into 2 or 3 guys with an 8-point lead, not necessarily something that you want to do, whereas moving the basketball and ending up with a better shot is probably going to be more beneficial for North Idaho in the long run. Regardless of that, Frank Phillips ends up turning the basketball over. It's going to be North Idaho basketball with an 8-point lead. A minute 45 left to go here from Sweet Erickson Gymnasium on this neutral site contest between North Idaho and Frank Phillips. Again, leading the way for North Idaho, Jalen Skalski with 22 points. Comes in averaging 10 points a game. He's got 22 so far. Dante Sawyer also with 15 points. Austin Johnson with 12 points, and Taryn Johnson, the other guy in double figures, as he has 10 for the Cardinals. For Frank Phillips so far, Thompson Kamara been leading the way, a guy that comes in averaging 14 points a game. The 6'7" sophomore from Nigeria with 20 points. Anthony Walters off the bench with 13 points for the 6'3" guard from Queens. And those are the only 2 guys for Frank Phillips in double figures. Benny Kazadi with 9. Jabari Harris with 8, and Amar Cottage with 9 as well for the Plainsmen. As we are back underway here, minute 45 to go, and it looks like North Idaho content with holding on to the basketball here as they look to milk away this last minute and a half. Kamara comes with the double here, gets swung around to Karstetter and back to Austin Johnson. Austin Johnson, a 70% free throw shooter. You got to think that they feel pretty confident with the basketball in his hands as the shot clock gets down to 5. Johnson with the step-back 3 ball, and it is money. Austin Johnson with 15 points on the game now as he handled the ball for most of that possession, and with the clock running down, didn't even need a screen. Took a couple of dribbles to his left, a little step back, and the 3 ball was pure, and that might have been the dagger that put this thing away for North Idaho. As we go under a minute here, this is Dante Sawyer, an 83% free throw shooter. North Idaho, I'm sure, feels very confident with the guys that they have on the floor. Kobe Campbell, a guy that's a 70% free throw shooter. Karstetter, a 33% shooter, probably a guy that they don't want handling the ball. As Johnson fires another 3, and all of a sudden Austin Johnson just taking over this game. He's got 18 points, 14 of those in the second half, including a couple of clutch 3s there in the last minute. As this thing looks to be over, Kazadi fires a 3, it's no good. Vaughn Weems clears, and the shot clock has been turned off. Frank Phillips ahead in most of this game. I wouldn't say dominant, but certainly was in control of this thing the whole way. But North Idaho, with about 5 minutes left in the second half, takes the lead, and then they go ahead and pull away after a couple of late Austin Johnson 3-point shots. And North Idaho is going to win this thing 86-72. North Idaho tomorrow will take on Colorado Northwestern. Frank Phillips tomorrow afternoon will take on the hosts from Casper College. Those games will be at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock respectively back here on the Casper College Network. From Sweet Erickson Gymnasium on the beautiful campus of Casper College, this has been today's game. North Idaho with an 86-72 win over Frank Phillips College. Fans, remember, stick around. Game 2 of this doubleheader tonight featuring the Thunderbirds and homestanding Casper College team as they will take on the Spartans from Colorado Northwestern. That game scheduled to tip here in about 25 minutes. Stick around with us, and we will be back here in about 20 minutes with Game 2 on the Casper College Network.
We have a really competitive group this year, sometimes a little too competitive. And there's this guy on our team, Ethan. He takes it a little too far, but he never loses.
Ready, go!
I do this. I ain't never lost. I do this.
It don't even matter what that is. I got game right here.